The storm outside was not made of rain. It was made of static. Thin ribbons of blue lightning danced across the skies of Aethra-9, the terraforming colony where Commander Lucen Darran had been stationed for 3 long, lonely years. The air always smelled faintly of ozone and dust, and the night sky was a swirling curtain of violet clouds. Inside the outpost, the hum of the generators was the only companion he had, until she arrived. Dr. Alira Voss was sent from Central Command as a bioengineer, tasked with recalibrating the failed ecosystem dome. She was small, sharp-eyed, and far too calm for someone dropped into a storm-wrapped frontier. When she stepped out of the shuttle in her white exosuit, Lucen remembered thinking she looked like a fragment of light fallen from orbit. Scene 1, the meeting. Commander Darran. Her voice had the faint echo of a comlink, crisp, measured, professional. He nodded, extending a gloved hand. "You must be Dr. Voss. Welcome to paradise." "Paradise?" she asked, glancing around at the steel walls and constant rumble of thunder. He smiled faintly. "That's what we call it when no one else wants the post." Her lips twitched. Not quite a smile, but something near it. Over the next few days, Alira's presence began to fill the silent corridors. She worked in the lab across from Lucen's command office, surrounded by glowing data screens and containment pods filled with alien moss and mist. She moved with careful precision, yet whenever she looked up, her eyes held something soft, like she saw the beauty beneath the dust. Scene 2. The accident. It happened on the 6th night. A power surge ripped through the outpost during another electrical storm. Lucen rushed to the reactor bay, only to find Alira already there, crouched beside a smoking conduit. Sparks leapt from the walls. "Are you insane?" he shouted over the alarms. "Someone has to shut down the relay before it overloads," she yelled back. She reached for a live cable. He grabbed her wrist just in time. For a second, her helmet visor reflected his face. Close, tense, breath fogging the glass between them. "Don't," he said, voice low now. "You could fry your neural implant." She hesitated. "Then help me." Together they worked through the chaos. Lucen rerouted the power while Alira stabilized the coolant line. When the lights finally steadied, they both sank against the wall, breathing hard. The hum of the generator returned, calm again like a steady heartbeat. Lucen looked at her. Sweat beaded along her temple, her braids sticking out from under her helmet. She caught him staring. "What?" she said, brow arched. He shook his head, smiling slightly. "Nothing, sweetheart." Her eyes widened. For a second she froze, and then beneath the dim emergency light, her cheeks turned the faintest shade of pink. Scene 3. The morning after. He thought she'd forget it. But the next morning she was quieter. Her movements were precise, almost too deliberate. "About last night," he began, setting down his datapad. She turned, pretending to check a monitor. "Yes, Commander." He chuckled softly. "That was unprofessional." The word. "I didn't mean." "It's fine," she said quickly, though her ears flushed pink again. "You were under stress." "I understand." He studied her. "You don't blush like someone who understands." That made her spin toward him, eyes wide, lips parting, but words didn't come. He grinned. There it is again. Now she really blushed. And something about it, in that cold, lonely station, felt warmer than the artificial lights ever could. Scene 4. The confession. Weeks passed. The storms grew harsher. Alira's biotic domes began to bloom with strange, shimmering plants that pulsed with their own light. Life was returning to the barren planet, and yet Lucen found his thoughts drifting not to the mission reports, but to her. Late one evening, He found her on the observation deck, staring out at the glowing fields. "They're responding to the atmosphere," she whispered. "Do you see? It's working." "I see," he said, stepping closer. "You did it." Her reflection glowed in the glass. Pale skin, tired eyes, and that small, genuine smile he'd learned to crave. "You make this place feel alive, Dr. Voss." She turned to him, startled by the quiet intensity in his voice. "Lucen." He hesitated, then said it again, softer this time, like a secret. "Sweetheart." Her breath caught. Outside, lightning streaked across the fields, illuminating them both in flashes of silver and blue. "I told myself not to get attached," she whispered. "Command warned me about frontier officers, that they forget what they're waiting for back home." "And are you waiting for someone back home?" he asked. She shook her head slowly. "Not anymore." He reached out, brushing a stray lock of hair from her face. "Then stay. The storms will end eventually." Her lips trembled into a shy, unguarded smile. "You're saying that because you like when I blush." He grinned. "Guilty." Scene 5, the ending. Months later, when Central Command hailed them for extraction, the planet had turned green under the dome's light. The storms were fading. The mission was complete. As they packed the final crates, Alira paused beside him. "Command wants me on the next colony," she said softly. He looked up. "And what do you want?" She hesitated, then stepped closer, placing her hand over his. "To hear you say it again." Lucen smiled, leaning close enough that she could feel his breath. "Sweetheart." She laughed, a soft, beautiful sound that filled the metallic corridors and silenced the storm outside. And when the shuttle departed Aethra-9, two figures stood side by side at the viewport, watching as the planet below, once dead and silent, shimmered with new life. Months drifted by like the slow turning of Aethra-9's violet moons. The storms had finally begun to die, their thunder fading into distant murmurs. Under the biotic domes, life shimmered, glowing moss carpeting the ground, alien flowers unfurling under pale sunlight. Lucen stood beside Alira as the final transmission from Central Command crackled through the comms. "Mission complete. Prepare for extraction." He should have felt relief. Instead he felt hollow. "So that's it," he said quietly. "You're leaving." Alira turned, a small smile touching her lips, though her eyes betrayed her hesitation. "They want me to help on the next terraforming project. Another lifeless world that needs saving." He chuckled softly. "You've got a habit of fixing broken things." Her gaze softened. "Not everything broken needs fixing, Lucen. Some things just need someone to stay." Silence fell between them, the kind that hummed louder than words. The shuttle engines rumbled outside, waiting. Lucen reached out, brushing a strand of hair from her cheek. "And what do you want?" She hesitated, searching his face. "To hear it again," she whispered. He stepped closer, his voice barely above a breath. "Sweetheart." A blush bloomed across her cheeks, just as it had that first night. But this time she didn't look away. Instead, she reached for his hand and held it tightly. "Then maybe," she said softly, "I'll stay, at least until the next storm." He smiled, pulling her gently closer as the world outside shimmered with new life. The storms had passed, the planet was reborn, and somewhere between thunder and silence, two hearts had found their home. When the dawn broke over Aethra-9, they watched it together, no longer alone,